Today, let's
Yeah.
talk about what you need to do if you're going to sell your house
Yes,
in
absolutely.
order to get top dollar.
So tell me quickly about your news report thingy.
So I was interviewed today by News Channel 2, WKRN in Nashville, about people still moving here from out of state was their topic. And then the other topic was about REITs, so real estate investment trusts that are coming in and buying up large, quantities of homes, and what's that
Yeah.
doing to the
And
buyers out there who are trying to buy. So it's gonna be like a 3-part series. So the first one will air today. Yeah, but it's not national news, so I don't think you'll be able to see it.
I know, but still, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think you sent me a link last time.
Yeah, it was neat. It was it's the same news anchor who's now reached out to me again. So yeah, it's always like very short and sweet. Like, hey, can you come like jump on a Zoom real quick? And you're like, yeah, sure.
Oh, you did it via Zoom.
Yeah.
Hey, you should tell them about StreamYard.
I will. I don't know if I like StreamYard as much.
You do. It's great. Why? It's awesome. Come on.
It's not.
Come on. All right, hang on. Okay, so we're going to get started.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What's our first topic?
So today, let's talk about what you need to do if you're going to sell your house.
Yes, absolutely.
In order to get top dollar.
Many sellers think that just because the seller's market, they could just slap a sign on their house and it'll sell very quickly and without any trouble. But the buyers are pretty informed nowadays, and I mean they were before too, but now they're even more informed and more curious on how the process works. So they're not going to just come and pay whatever it is for a house. And no matter what shape is in or what the circumstances are. So
exactly,
I think that's very important.
Yeah, and there's a lot of sellers out there because it is such a hot seller's market that they think that they can just put a for sale by owner sign in the front yard and still get, multiple offers. But the problem is how are you going to actually run those? Like there's a lot of pitfalls that goes along to doing that as well that you need to be careful about.
Okay. So what's the first thing they need to worry about?
Finding the right agent, right?
Yep.
Number 1, get a well-qualified agent who sold a lot of houses and knows how to navigate today's market.
Absolutely. An agent that's familiar with the area that the house is and knows maybe the different neighborhoods and different agents in that area to market to.
Exactly. Yeah. So definitely number 1, pick the right agent, interview several, and see which one you click with. And obviously make sure that there's professional photography and things like that they offer along as well.
Right. Exactly.
So, and then what else should you do? What's number 2?
Number 2 is to make sure that your house is show ready.
Yes.
Right.
And what's your definition of show ready?
So what I tell my sellers, my clients is, listen, go outside and put yourself in a buyer's shoes. You walking through your house like you walk into a house that you want to buy. What will set you off and what will get you excited?
Exactly.
If the house is cluttered, it's got a lot of stuff in it, baby toys or trash. Especially, I showed a house the other day that literally you couldn't see the floor because of baby toys and trash. Mm-hmm. Anything that would set off the buyer, make sure everything's clean. Make sure and believe it or not, make sure your baseboards are clean. Many buyers, although they don't show it overtly, they do look at dust and how how clean the house is, especially the baseboards.
Well, and
Because
another
that's one
thing,
area we neglect.
absolutely. And another thing most people can't tell is smells, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing more disgusting that'll set off a buyer not wanting to take another step in when they get like bombarded with either like stale cigarette smoke or pet
Yes.
odor, or even
Mhm.
cooking odors these days can be really strong as well. So definitely the smell can definitely help you go one way or another. But yeah,
Yeah.
clean it like your mother-in-law is coming to visit.
Absolutely, that's absolutely true. And speaking of smell, so you do have pet odor or cigarette odor. Those are sometimes very difficult to get out.
Extremely difficult.
Now they have ionizers that you can rent or purchase and put in the house for 36 hours, and it may take some of the smell away. But if it's a long-term smoker or long-term pet owner, usually the odor gets into the walls, into the carpeting,
Yeah,
and the only way to get rid of it is, especially the easiest way to get rid of it is to strip the carpeting and floor the house.
exactly. And
And
sometimes if you pay for it to be shampooed, like a carpet shampooing, it can actually make some of those smells worse.
yes, absolutely.
So you got to be a little bit careful on how the remedy that you take in order to get rid of those odors.
Hmm. But again, if you have the right realtor who has experience with these things, they will be able to guide you through how to remedy it, and if it's remediable.
Yeah, exactly. Try to like mitigate those odors, definitely, for sure.
Yes. What else?
So let's see. Declutter and depersonalize,
Yes, for
right?
sure, for sure.
Clean, declutter, and depersonalize. Obviously, you're going to be moving, so those things that you're not using on a daily basis should, just go ahead and box them up. And probably less is more.
Mhm.
And any of the knickknacks, anything like that, you just don't want your house to feel cluttered. So anything that you're not using on a regular basis, just go ahead and box up and get ready for your move.
I think when you're thinking about selling your house, you should take at least 2 weekends and maybe have a yard sale or a garage sale or estate sale. Or now with Facebook Marketplace, there's and also with recycle websites, it's so easy to get rid of your stuff that you don't need.
Yes.
And I think somebody told me if you haven't used it in 2 years, you don't need it.
Why are you holding on to it, right?
Exactly. So same with clothes, same with knickknacks or heirloom items. Um, you know, you definitely take some time to purge them.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah,
there's even things to do too. Like you could even go if, let's say, you're taking on a house that somebody's lived in for 30 years or plus, you could even go like the estate sale route and go ahead and sell, like you said, like sell some of those items up front, especially the ones that are of value that you're not wanting to take on to your next home.
absolutely. Yeah, it's very important because buyers don't want to go through a house and have to battle with cartons and boxes and
No.
uh, go through a maze. That kind of sets buyers off. So you want to make sure that your area is clean, it's decluttered, and the buyers have an easy time getting around and picturing their own possessions in there. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, think about it like a model home.
Yeah.
There's a reason why builders spend so much time and energy, decorating them to the nines
Absolutely.
and everything else, because that's what sells.
Hmm.
And so think of your house as going to market and you want to show it in its best light possible. So
Yeah.
get rid of things, have it super clean, have it smell nice. And then what else? What's the next thing?
The next thing is
Your curb appeal.
for
Curb
sure.
appeal.
Curb appeal is very yes.
Right. So
Curb.
especially this time of year with everything blooming and it being so pretty outside, just to have the sidewalks and the front of the house pressure washed. You'll also want to do any like touch up paint or anything like that might be outside. But yeah, give it a fresh coat of mulch and then put some flowers that kind of pop out front. That definitely will help, because that's going to be your money. I always talk about like the front of your house is like the money shot.
Absolutely.
And that's what you want it to stand
That's
out.
what invites the buyers to come in, right?
Yes.
So your the front of your house is your hook. So the buyers driving by, or they're coming up with a realtor, and the first thing they see is your walkway and your front stoop or your front porch.
Yep.
And then they go to the next step of coming inside. If there are so many buyers that, if they don't like the front of the house, if they think the house is boring, or if the house doesn't have good curb appeal, they'll just drive by.
100%. And also mainly with seeing everything online these days, before you even do get a chance to drive by, that first money shot is going to make you either click through the pictures or keep on scrolling.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So make sure that you, depending on the season, you have some seasonal flowers on your front stoop, front porch, bright ones to attract the buyer's eyes. And also mulching is so important. So important. A fresh coat of mulch is like a nice mousse in your hair. It's nice.
Everybody needs a little mousse. And then not to say about like trimming the bushes, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Make everything just look neat and tidy as possible.
Absolutely. Because you're putting your house on a showcase, right? It's a showcase. So you want it's like going to Nordstrom's and seeing the stuff in the window. That's what you're doing. You're basically preparing your house for show. So that's very important. So that's what I was going to talk to you about. Talk about selling an empty house versus selling a furnished house. Many people get transferred, or for some reason they leave their house before they sell it. Is it important for them to leave some furniture behind and make the house still look livable, or is it okay for them to take everything out and sell the house basically naked?
I wouldn't necessarily have them leave anything, especially if they're like leaving the state. If it was a local move and they had some key pieces that might look nice, to keep those. But it's going to be a case by case scenario. Obviously, we always have the flexibility to bring in either actual stagers and get the house staged if it is vacant, or to even do virtual staging as well. So those are a couple of options. If I personally like to see a little bit of staging in a house, but with the way that the market is these days, if it's vacant, it means that we can quickly close, right?
True, absolutely.
So the ones that I see like people are still living in, I'm like, oh, where are they going? Is that going to be a problem?
Yeah.
Or if going into a vacant house kind of takes that pressure off, because then you know that you're within a 30-day window of being able to move somebody else in.
And I think we're coming from a little bit different state of mind as far as this opinion is concerned. I like the house to be furnished.
Okay.
When I market it, I think when it's furnished, the house looks bigger. The rooms look bigger. I think an empty room is usually is perceived as a smaller room, and also a furnished home will give the potential buyer an idea of where they can stage their furniture. Right?
Yes.
Hey, this room is big enough for a king size bed, or hey, this living room is big enough for a sectional couch, because there's one in there now. So I think it's important to sell, when you're selling a house, to at least have some furniture in some of the rooms, living room, bedroom, whatever.
Exactly. And then also you could always just take your pictures while there's still furniture in there.
Yes.
Right. And then have the seller move out before it actually goes live online. If that's an option, that's always good too. And again, it's going to depend on the taste and, how the house is presented with the sellers living there as well.
That's true. Exactly. Sometimes it's better for the sellers to leave and you stage the property for showing.
Yes.
And then for the people to still live there. Absolutely. And it's less headache for the sellers,
It's less headache.
If you can leave, if you can move out of the house before the house goes on the market, that's better for both sides. Certainly for the sellers, because you don't have to deal with the showing issues, and issues. I say issues. Obviously, I'm going to edit that. Showing with the showing issues and dilemma, and also, the buyer, as you said, the buyer knows that, hey, they can move in any time because there's no constraints on the seller moving out. So that's very important. And another thing is, if your house is empty, or if your house doesn't have enough furniture in it, like if you have a $6,000 square foot house and only few rooms are furnished, I would spend that extra money as a seller and have a stager come in and really nicely stage the house for showing.
Yeah. Or at least, like I said, at least the picture portion of it. Normally those stagers you're paying per month. So in this kind of market, depending on the price point, it's probably going to be on the market for under a month. Right?
Yes.
So to even just get it staged for just that short amount of time so you can show it in its best, especially for the higher price points as well. Like you said, the larger houses that you might not understand what a room's purpose is for, those ones are great to go ahead and stage.
And what I've done in the past, and some realtors do, is they do take the pictures while the seller's furniture is in there in the house. Then they take those pictures and enlarge them.
Yes.
To poster size or picture or picture size. What do we call it? The big
poster board size.
Poster board size, and they put those on easels in each room.
Yes.
To show the people that come through, hey, this house looks like this. If this room looks like this,
here's options.
Options, yeah, exactly. So, which is pretty clever. I like that.
I've even seen that done like in a backyard where there would be room for a pool, right?
Exactly,
to have the renderings done and be like, oh wow, this house would look amazing with a pool.
Absolutely, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Pool is an important thing because nowadays many people want to. Ever since COVID kind of helped that idea. People want their own pool in the backyard, and that would be a great idea. What's next?
Any quick repairs?
Yes.
So these days, a sale might not be contingent upon passing, a full inspection. Obviously, we're going to advise our buyers to go ahead and do an inspection, but for the pass fail part of it. So even if you have a lot of little things, like even, burnout light bulbs, they're going to say like reevaluate to make sure that fixture works. So just the little things, I would definitely like replace all of your air filters throughout the house, air conditioning filters, make sure all the light bulbs are working. If there's any little bits of like wood rot and things like that, basically to have a punch list done of all of these little items that just need a little bit of attention, a little quick fix. Obviously, if there is anything major, you would want to go ahead and get that taken care of before going to market. But before you actually sell, I would definitely go through the house. And if there's any little items that might need some attention, go ahead and get those knocked out of.
Absolutely. And nothing is more important than a well-lit home. Buyers walk in, you want to make sure that your house is well lit. You want to make sure that all the light bulbs are working, functioning, and they're
all the same color. Have you seen that?
Color, exactly.
Where you have some orange, some white. Just make it all uniform.
Make sure that if you have, by any chance, some water issues, or maybe from a previous issue with your bathroom, and there's water stains on the ceiling, make sure you get that addressed. If most importantly, make sure the water leak is fixed. And if it's fixed and there's still stains on the ceiling, make sure you get that painted and repair and remedied, because the buyer comes through your house and they're looking around and they see a light bulb is burned, or they see a water stain, and as small as a problem that may be, in a buyer's mind, that problem just magnified to 100 times, right? They're going to say,
Oh, yeah.
well, shoot, there's water stain. I wonder what else is wrong with the house. Or if they can't take care of one light bulb, I wonder what else they haven't taken care of. And
Exactly.
you don't really want the buyer to start second guessing you as a homeowner, because that's going to just snowball. It may snowball. Absolutely.
Yeah, and most buyers are going to know within the first 30 seconds.
Yes, exactly.
As soon as they step through that door, are you going to make an offer?
Yep.
And in this day and age, that's all the time that they have to decide too.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they probably have 5 other homes on their list, and if they take too long in your house, the other homes are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very important to make sure that you go around the house and take care of even the most minute issues that you can't take care of, and the buyer will pick up. So that's a very important thing. So I was also going to talk about inspections, right? Home inspection. What I suggest and again, during this time of year, or this seller's market, it hasn't happened too often, but in the past, I've suggested to my sellers to get a pre-listing home inspection.
Yes.
So if there are some issues that can be addressed, they are addressed prior to the buyer bringing their own home
inspector in.
And also, you can present that home inspection report along with your repair list as part of your package. The buyer will see, saying, "Hey, we got a home inspection. These are the issues that were found, and we fixed them." So you can rest assured that you'll be,
Again, that also works. So if somebody has lived in their house for a really long time, getting those pre-inspections done, it might be a little eye-opening too, to know, because how often are you in your crawl space?
Exactly.
How often do you go to the attic? So going ahead and having that pre-inspection done is really nice. So yeah, and then to be able to pass it along to the potential buyer.
Absolutely. This is when it's much better to be preemptive than perhaps let a good buyer terminate because there are a lot of issues with the house.
Yeah.
After the fact.
So what's the final thing we have to worry about before we go list our house? Price to sell.
Yes. Sorry, that was
so
awesome.
Yeah, and so that's the most important part, right?
Yes.
So if you've done all of this work to get your house ready and to get it market ready, pricing it too high is not the way to go about it. So what you want to do is look at the comps, look at sold what's over the last 30, 60, 90 days, see what the trends are, right? But you don't want to price it out. You don't want to price yourself out of the market. And if you've been on the market 3-4 days and you haven't had any offers, which is going to start happening more and more as more inventory gets loosened up, those are the houses that eventually they're going to get a price reduction. So you have to be a little bit careful. I always say that with today's market, if the house is expected to if it's in a hot neighborhood, it's in great condition, it's been well taken care of, it should be priced correctly for those multiple offers. And your initial asking price should be your opening bid.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
And you're also more likely to get somebody to waive an inspection or waive an appraisal or do an appraisal gap coverage if they feel like the house is priced correctly to begin with.
Yes. And I think this is another reason why getting hooked up with a experienced realtor is very important, because someone who's been through this with experience will be able to run the market analysis for you and be able to dissect the comparable properties and really give you a solid list price for your house.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least
what the demand is.
Exactly, or at least a range to work in, right? So if you're going to, we've noticed in this area, a 4-bedroom home is actually getting 2% higher on multiple offers than a 3-bedroom home.
Oh,
right?
Wow. Yep.
So we actually like deep dive into these statistics for these particular neighborhoods. And we're like, oh, your house is over 2,500 square feet and has 4 bedrooms and has a 3-car garage. Therefore, we can go a little bit higher than your neighbor who only had a 3-bedroom and 2-car garage, right? So those little tendencies, and I think with COVID, again, more people are at home more frequently and they've needed more space. So the bigger homes are bringing in a higher price point neighborhood wide than a smaller home.
And, again, in this market, it's maybe difficult to price the house right, or find or know what the right price is to list your house. And that's why, maybe it'd be better for you to get a pre-listing appraisal.
Sure.
Get an appraiser's professional opinion on what the market value for your house is.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if it's a unique situation. Maybe it's not in a regular cookie cutter neighborhood.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If it's a little bit further out, we have like a lot of these multi-generational compounds now in Nashville where you've got like 3 or 4 houses on 10 acres and they're going to sell it as one parcel. Things like that. If they're outside of the typical realm, 100% get a pre-listing appraisal done on it would be a really smart idea.
Yeah, because appraisers are able to delve a little bit deeper into your house and the comparables and give you a more solid fair market value for your home.
Sure.
That's and you may be able to sell it faster, sell it for a higher amount, just because you know what your house is really worth in the market.
We see that a lot here too. If it's got a lot of acreage. How valuable are those extra acres? That can vary quite a lot depending on what type of land it is.
Absolutely. So that's very important. Lastly, I was going to ask you about home warranty. What's going on? About home warranty. What are your feelings about home warranty and about sellers providing home warranty?
I haven't seen a seller provide one in quite a long time. That is something that I have been able to get included like after inspections. If there is anything coming up, I use it as like a negotiation tactic when we're actually under contract. I still advise, even if a seller is not offering one, I still advise all my buyers to spend the extra $500-$600 to get a home buyer warranty, just to give you the peace of mind. Especially with, most buyers these days are going to be a little cash poor when they walk into a house because of how much extra it is to buy a house right now. All of that extra cash that they might have had to use it for an appraisal gap coverage. They might have had to use it to, outbid everybody else. So that's just another reason to have that home warranty, just as extra protection. Because if, the AC goes out and you need a whole new system, that's another $5,000 to $10,000 that a home warranty would have covered. Or could.
Absolutely. Yeah, and especially if your house is an older home and you haven't kept up with updating, especially the kitchen appliances, or as you said, the HVAC system, it'd probably be a good idea to just go ahead and provide a home warranty to the buyer, just because as a courtesy, just because that they're going to be so cash poor when they buy the house that it'd be I suggested to my sellers, hey, it'd be a good idea to go ahead and do that. But obviously it's up to the seller. But definitely as a buyer, it'd be a good idea to also spend that extra $600-$700 and get a home warranty just for ease of mind.
Exactly. And to know that if you buy it actually purchasing the house, that you do get a discount. So you could buy one once you actually move in, but it's going to be at a higher price point.
And also, many home warranty companies, at least the ones I deal with here, if you buy the home warranty during your listing, let's say the seller buys it during listing, they do offer free seller coverage.
Yes.
So
That's
just in
handy.
case, your house is on the market and you have a water leak or your air conditioning goes out, which happens a lot.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
So you can contact the home warranty company and they will send a technician and fix it before it becomes a bigger issue. So that might be something to consider as well. All right. Well, that was great information, Kate. Thank you so much for your expertise and your knowledge. I think it's really important for sellers to know how to go about selling their home in today's market. So let people know how they can get hold of you if they're ever in Nashville.
Of course. You can head on over to my website, realestatekatetn.com, or always find me on Instagram. Same handle, realestatekatetn.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And I'm Robert Masoudpour. If you have any need in Atlanta area for real estate help, I'm your man. You go to path2sold.com, or on Instagram, Masoudpour Real Estate. And I need to someday work on that and make everything one handle. Kate's going to help me with that. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time. We're going to do another one of these next time, and we're going to talk about another cool real estate topic, so make sure you tune in.
Can't wait.
Bye.
Bye.
So I put sunscreen on because I was driving my Jeep and I had the top down, and now I look really pasty.
I was going to say, I don't think you put any on your forehead.
I did, but I look kind of goth a little bit.
You need some little powder.
I do. I know.
You need some bronzer.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm sure your girls can hook you up.
All right. I'm not trusting my girls in my face.
They'd be like, you want what?